Hello friends, and welcome back to my crafty space. My name is Crystal, and in today's video, I am going to be putting together my first two projects using the May Stories by the Month kit from Ali Edwards. Now, the reason I'm doing two stories instead of just one is because both of these are fairly simple, and I think they're going to go super quick. So this way I can show you a little bit more inspiration for ideas on how to use this kit, and then can also just give you a little bit more content since I think we'll have the time for me to do that today. So I have a story for each of my children. That is what I am choosing to do for today's stories. The first is going to be all about my son, and I just loved this card that had these paint swipes on it. So I went ahead and added some text into each of those, and my plan is to cut them out and put them down the side of this picture of us when we were playing outside. I was chasing them around and like chased him into this little house because I was like threatening to tickle him, that sort of thing. And he turned around and like squealed with laughter, and it's the cutest picture. I love it. So I just want to highlight the picture, tell a little bit of a story. I also pulled out the these chipboard hearts from the 12 by 12 classic kit that Ali has. I think it's the quarterly scrapbooking kit. And I might use some of these little navy blue hearts in conjunction with this, just so it's not so flat. The second story that I'm working on is a story about my daughter from the same day. So it is again about playing outside. I have some pictures of her doing some goofy swing tricks here, and I'm just going to tell the story about playing with her outside and how much I love to do that. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into these. I will put you on fast forward so that it goes quicker. And once I have this all completed, we'll slow back down and finish out the video for today. So let's get started. All right, so we're going to get started by working on the spread about my son first. So this one's going to be fairly easy. I am going to take this 4x6 card with the 4 paint swipes, which I have already added my journaling to, and in case I didn't mention that already, I do include a link in my description box down below on how to add journaling onto physical cards. So if you are looking for a tutorial on how to do that, make sure to check that one out and see if that helps you. So I am going to take all 4 of these paint swipes, fussy cut them out, and then I'm going to add them down the left side of the page of my son. Now I did decide to print my photo at a true 6x8 size where it will go inside of a page protector because the orientation of the photo and the scale of my son on the photo made the most sense in this sizing. If I made it a little bit wider or taller, so the 6.875 by 8.25 to put outside of the page protector, the scale wasn't quite right for adding the paint swipes on the side. So I decided to keep it a 6x8 instead. So I am adding a little bit of roller adhesive onto the back of those 4 little sections and then putting them on the page where the left side of the paint swipe is off of the page. So then I will go ahead and trim off the excess here. I liked the idea of having the paint swipes interact with the side of the page. I just think it gives it a more distinct line down the side, and then it also allows me to feature all of my son in that photo and not cover any bit of him up, which I definitely didn't want to do. Once I had that done, I wanted to see if I could add a little bit of dimension to this page, since I really am just adding on those paint swipe little cards. So I pulled over this heart chipboard piece from the quarterly scrapbooking collection and punched out 4 of the little blue hearts. So I'm seeing if I can add them somewhere onto those paint swipes, if it makes sense. I tried to have them cover up the number to see what I thought of that, which I didn't like because the number is red on those little paint swipe cards, and it goes so nicely with the red of the playhouse that I wanted to keep them in there. So then I tried to give them a little bit of like a wonkier line on there, didn't like that. And then ultimately I will add a couple around my son's head and then one down at the bottom. And I love the way that that looks. So that is what I'm going to do with them. I also grabbed over my scrapbook.com premium dye ink and used that to date stamp on the photo itself. I use Canon glossy paper, which takes really well to ink. And so, I just use my black ink to go ahead and stamp directly onto my photos, and I've never had an issue with that. So that is what we did here. Then I just went ahead and stuck down those hearts and called that spread done. So super easy, but I really, 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 really love that story so much. I love the spread, the bold, the color. It's just great. So next we're moving on to the story about my daughter. So this was taken, I believe, on the exact same day as the picture of my son. And my daughter was swinging on our playset and just doing all kinds of really silly faces and moves. So I took a bunch of pictures of her and then did a bit of journaling about playing outside with her and how much fun we had. When I was placing the photo into this card, The Story of Life Right Now, I decided to try rounding the corners of my photo. I have a super old corner rounder punch, which is from Creative Memories, I believe. And the rounding was just a little bit too much. Like, I honestly wish I would have just left the edges straight, but it's okay. So I debated trying to find something where I could create almost like photo corners on there, but I didn't have anything in my stash that was going to work that way. And I already have plans for how I want to use the stickers there to the right. So I didn't want to use those for that. Instead, I just decided to leave it and let it be imperfect and let that be just fine. I date stamped right underneath the photo there, and then I am going to start working on the picture, the full page picture of my daughter. So what I did is I grabbed one of the longer sticker pieces, and then I also grabbed one of the smaller ones to give me a size gauge. So I'm just placing one on top of the other so that their sticky parts are away from each other. And then I'm using that to create the same size tiles with those different patterns. So I used the yellow one, then I'm going to use the blue one, and you're going to see that I'm going to essentially create some kind of repeat pattern on the top and on the bottom of this photo, which I think will be really fun. I won't quite have enough to fill in both the top and the bottom. So I will have to come up with a way to finagle in some additional pieces. One way I do that is by taking the lighter teal colored one there, and I'm going to use the outside sections of it. In order to create a little bit of extra space there at the top. And then I will also use one of the smaller tiles and just piecemeal it together in order to get it to work for the last little bit at the top, which, it's okay. I wish there would have been like one more pattern with this, or maybe that tealish one was a pattern instead of a word phrase, but that's okay. It works out just fine. So now I'm working on the top. I don't quite get it perfectly aligned to the top, so I will have to turn it over and trim some of it off, it's fine. It is what it is. The thing is, once you stick stickers down onto photo paper, there is no getting them back off. So I just kind of went with it here. There's where you can see a little bit of that teal that I added in, a little bit more, and then that's the last piece that I've got, and I have just a itty bitty section that is not covered, and it totally bothers me. So I'm trying to figure out what can I add. I'll pull out a different sticker sheet that I have from another collection to see if the colors are good enough. I don't really like it. So instead I will grab one more teal piece here and just kind of do the best I can to make it work. So I have a section there and then one at the top to fill in the tiny little square piece that was missing. And it's really hard to tell. Like, you can't really tell that well, so it's fine. The last thing I wanted to do is take some of the word phrases, the smaller sections, and add them on top of the pattern. I thought that would be a fun way to bring in some words, bring in a little bit of extra color. And since I've got the teal up at the top, I really liked having the teal down at the bottom to help balance this page as well. So I think that turned out really fun. So, that is pretty much going to finish out this spread once I get this last little bit stuck down here. All right, friends, that completes both of these spreads for today. So cute. I love this one. I just love this one so much, and I'm so happy that it was oriented just perfectly enough for me to get all of those paint swipes down the left side of the photo. So fun there. And I also really love this one, just of Izzy being silly and doing a little bit of journaling about, you know, her just having fun on the swings, and that it's just so nice to get back outside again. I thought it was really fun to use those phrase stickers and pattern strips to create a border on the top and bottom of this page. I think that turned out pretty well, especially considering I had to really hack this little last one. You know, you can tell that it's not perfect, but that is okay. I don't mind that at all. Anyway, those are my stories for today. I hope that you have enjoyed seeing both of these come together, and if you have, I would love a thumbs up on this video down below. Also, make sure while you're there to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, so you can catch all of my future crafty videos. I will be back again later in the week with some additional process videos. Until then, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye, friends.